Hi, welcome, welcome. I'm Kelley Pitts and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator and have been since 2005. I'm in Lubbock, Texas, and I have customers who can shop with me all over the United States. So that's really exciting. I have a lot of people I can reach to inspire and help you create. So I hope you tune in each week for this Facebook Live at 7:15 on Wednesday nights. We're having a crafty happy hour. So glad you tuned in. I'm a little bit early, so it's not quite 7:15 yet. I'm going to go ahead and get set up on my computer and my iPad so I can see your comments, hopefully. We'll see if we can get that going. And then I'll be right back with you. Hello, Dawn Merkel. Glad you're joining. Hope you'll send a comment and let us know where you're from. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be right with you in just a moment. Turn everything down here. I think I got my volume off and I think we're good. It's a little hard to get totally set up early because there's a delay between what I do and what I see on the computer. So a little fun thing. All right, hopefully I can see comments. Yes, okay. Well, once again, we are gonna do something fun tonight, and this is a new card, and I got busy at my full-time job today and didn't get to play as much as I had hoped. Hi, Tanya Cook. But we're gonna make some fun cards similar to this one. This is a card where you make actually 3 cards at the same time. You kind of cut out 3 different DSPs at the same time and then do 2 diagonal cuts. Whoops, went the wrong way. Still not totally used to this camera yet. It's all flipped around. But we're going to be using the Forever Greenery suite from the Stampin' Up annual catalog from 1920 to 21, and it is still current through May. Through the early part of May. I guess May 3rd actually is when the new catalog comes online for customers. So thank you for tuning in, Tanya. Glad to see you. And this is kind of the card we're going to make. We're going to use several of the different patterns from the Forever Greenery, but we're going to show you a simple technique that I learned from Mary Knabe. I just saw her post this morning and thought I have to do that tonight for my Facebook Live. And it's a simple way to use your designer series paper. You just have to make sure everything coordinates together, all your 3 sheets, and I'll show you how to cut those in a minute. Yes, I do love this DSP too, Dawn. And I'm gonna show you a lot of different, some different patterns. It's the same 3 sheets here, but they're gonna end up being in a different position. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We are going to play, and I'm going to kind of show you how different you can use basically the same paper, the same layout almost for different cards and have it look a little bit different based on what background paper you use or what cardstock, the solid cardstock that you make your card base out of, and the matte color. So they can all coordinate with the designer series paper, as they should, but at least it gives you a little variety when you're making cards. It seems like you're making a lot of different cards, but since you're doing the same steps on multiple cards, it will be easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and let's see is it actually 7:15 yet already? I'll check and see. Yes, it is. We're already time. So I hope some other folks tune in. But right now we're going to get started on this. And thanks again to Mary Knabe for her idea. And I think she got it from Debbie Henderson, I believe. Looks like I have lipstick everywhere. I put it on real quickly. So again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator since 2005. And have just been doing Facebook Lives a little while, a couple of months. So still getting used to all the technical part. I appreciate you tuning in, and please share it on your timeline or with any of your crafty friends who you think might enjoy it. We're going to learn something new tonight and get to play a little. And I'm going to turn the camera down, so I will say sayonara right now to my face. I'm sure y'all are happy to get making cards. So we're gonna tune this down just a second here. Oops. Uh-oh, my phone came out of my mouth that time. I wasn't doing it properly, I guess. Let's see where we are here. That's pretty close, I think. Hopefully. This will get us set up. Okay, and as I said, the trick tonight, or the fun part, I'm going to show you a couple of other papers from this same series, and you can see how different it looks. Whoops, let's go ahead and go 3 of the same one right now. I'm kind of all spread out all over everywhere. Okay, we're going to move the almost completed one aside, and I'll show you what we're going to do and how that works. I can show you these 3. See how these 3, of course these aren't all glued down, so this is just to kind of give you an idea. We're going to glue them down and play with the different backgrounds. I just didn't want to glue them before y'all saw kind of how they start out, and I'm going to show you how to cut those to get this effect. But when you stack up your 3 designer series papers, which the ones we're going to use tonight to play with are these 3. I love these colors, and this Pretty Peacock is one of the end colors that is going out. And I'm so sad to see it go. I love that color. Thank goodness the Just Jade is staying in. That's a gorgeous color. And the Soft Sea Foam, those will still be with us. But we're going to take these 3 sheets, which are already cut down to a manageable size. I just happen to have these card fronts already cut from a sweet share that I did earlier. And we are going to just cut these. This originally started off as a 12 by 12 sheet. Each one of these is a 12 by 12. So I've cut these down, and we're going to take these 3 sheets, cut them all together, and end up with 3 different sets of patterns like this. So whatever your pattern is going to be repeated 3 times in different positions. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, we're going to play with these in a little bit, but I'm going to show you how the cut works first. And then you can imagine with whatever designer series paper you have at home, or if you fell in love with this paper, it will be retiring. So I would recommend grabbing it quickly if you're in love with it like I am. I know Tanya loved it too. Okay, we're going to take our Stampin' trimmer. Hopefully I can get this where y'all can see it really well. Okay. And what you do is cut, and like I said, if your paper is already 12 by 12 and you haven't cut it down any, then you'll just cut to 3 3/4. We're going to have 3 3/4 wide by 5 inches tall. Okay. So I've got all 3 of these, and we've got a good blade in, so we shouldn't have a problem with cutting the 3 designer series papers at the same time. That's a little bit, it's probably a little bit more than 1 layer of cardstock, but not as thick as 2. So we're going to start, since I've got these cut into 6 inch, I'm going to cut 1 inch off. I'm going to make that 5 inches. And when you measure from the trimmer, you measure from this little guide right here. This little track is what the stamping cut blade goes on. This is the score blade, which we'll just move out of the way. Trying to get this all in screen here so you can see it. All right, so we should have all these lined up. If I hadn't messed around a little bit there, showing you everything else. We'll line that back up, that stack of paper, all 3 sheets. We're going to cut that at 5 inches. And then we're going to cut this at 3 3/4 inches, which I had these at 4 because that was a good size to cut the 12 by 12 into. But if you just have your full 12 by 12, like I said, you'll cut the 5 inch and then cut the 3 3/4. Then we're going to take our pencil and we're going to mark at the 2-inch mark on the right hand side. We're going to mark it 2 inches down from the top and 2 inches up from the bottom. So I'm going to use my trimmer. You could use just a ruler if you wanted. There we go, it's close enough. Then that's 2 inches down from the top. And then we'll measure, I think it's easier to start right here at the 1 because I've got a solid line. It's a little easier for me to see than the track. So I'm going to go from 1 to 3, that's 2 inches. So on the right hand side, we've gone down 2 inches from the top and up 2 inches from the bottom and put a mark, okay? Then on the left hand side, hi Brenda Schultz, glad you're tuning in. Good to see you. Let me know if you want to make a comment. I'd love to hear where you're watching from. Okay, now this side, we're going to go to 1.25 inches. And I'm measuring from this guide over to here. I can see the 1.25 inches. I'm not sure y'all can see it. And I don't have a fancy schmancy program that I can do a zoom or anything. So I don't know how to do that where y'all can see it better. But we're going to go to the 1.25 inches here. So you've got 1.25 inches from the top and 1.25 inches from the bottom. All right. Does that make sense? So I've got a mark here, 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 and here. I don't know if y'all can see those very well. But what we're going to do is you still keep all 3 sheets. Make sure they're all stacked up really good together, really tight and together. Then you're going to line up. And again, y'all probably can't see this mark. Hopefully you can. But we're going to line up from this 1.25 inch mark on this side to the 2-inch mark on this side. So the top 2 marks, we're going to line those up and cut that. So we've got one diagonal cut. Whoops, I didn't quite go over it far enough. It's a little different angle here on the camera. Throw those out of the way. Okay, we're going to stack those right there. Then we're going to make this second cut from the 2-inch up on this side to the 1.25 inch up on this side over here, here to here. Get that good and tight in your guide, and you're holding all 3 sheets of paper together, holding it down with the guide. You might want to just go back and forth just to make sure. Okay, that's our cut. Okay, I'm going to leave these in order right here. Move my trimmer off, out of the way. Here we go. See how this works for us. Okay. Now, hopefully I left them like they should be. Now we're going to take these stacks and I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to start here to do this one and come back. Then I'm going to start here. So you're kind of stepping over each time. Hopefully that makes sense. Whoops, I'm out of camera range a little bit. Let me move this over. Sorry about that. So this is going to be the front of our 3 cards. You can see it's already taken shape. Now, that's all there is to it. There's no magic to it. It's going to end up looking like this when we glue it onto a base. And I wanted to show you, we're going to play with the bases. I'm going to show you what the different mats look like, and then we'll put it on a solid. This is the Just Jade, and this kind of gives you an idea of how much it changes just with this one little mat. And we're picking up some of the colors in the Designer Series paper. This is from the Forever Greenery suite in the annual catalog, the 2021 annual catalog. There's the paper and the stamp set and the dies are all in there that are part of this suite. Okay, we're going to look and see if we like we've got a Just Jade, we've got a pair of Pizzazz. Let's see if we like the Pretty Peacock with this. or if we like the soft seafoam better. I'm going to show you one of those. We have to cut one of these apart if we like this one better. But y'all tell me, anybody who's, hi Judy Walton, glad you could tune in. Okay, we are looking at, see how different the card bases look just with the same paper, the same pattern. They're just in different places, and it kind of alters based on the way you see the background there of the mat. And we're going to, do y'all like the combination of all three of those? Or what do you think? Give you a moment to catch up here. I don't think the spruce is going to do anything for us here. I think that's going to be better with another pattern. Okay. I think we'll just do all three of those different ones. And you can use your Stampin' Seal. We'll go ahead and put it on the mat, and then we'll decide which background paper we like, or which card base we like with it. You could use your liquid glue, you can use your Stampin' Seal. And with the seal, I have found that it works a lot better for me if I try to hold the seal kind of parallel, hold the bottom of this right here, hold this level with the table or the surface that you're working on. Then when you use the seal, if you'll bring it towards you a little bit, I know some demonstrators don't do that, but I have found that that breaks off. You want to actually break that strip of glue, and that way if you flick it just a little bit, it will break that piece of glue strip so that you don't have a sticky mess. If you don't break it, and you can do both sides, you can do both ends, you can do whatever you want. However much glue you think you need. It's totally up to you. This is not critical since it's not a box or a 3D item. It's pretty much going to stay as it is. So you can see right there where I didn't break it properly. I got in a hurry. Now I have a kind of a string. So that string pops on the seal. So you just have to pull it up a little bit where you can see the glue right here, and then start again. And then make sure you break it. Kind of that flick of the wrist. You'll get it with some practice, but it's called our Stampin' Seal, and it is new in this past year. And I do like it. I like liquid glue a lot also to do that. Gives you a little wiggle room. But this one, since you're butting it up, you want to make sure you've got the paper butted up to each other and your border is even all the way around. Okay, we're going to set that one aside, do the second one real quick. I'll show you how quickly it is to make some simple cards. And like I said, just kind of line it up where all the border is the same all the way around. It looks kind of awkward when you're doing it, but that's what I think it takes to break that properly. Okay, there's the second one. One more down, and we'll be set to go. What are y'all having for your crafty happy hour drink? Oh, Tanya posted that the Forever Greenery is on sale. Actually, this designer series paper is on sale right now for $9.20 a pack, which is awesome. It just has some beautiful patterns that I just love. It's going to be hard for me to live without it, I tell you, but we have some beautiful new papers coming in the new annual catalog that as demonstrators we get to pre-order. We've already pre-ordered some of the items out of the catalog as of April 4th, and then it's all the way till May 3rd before customers get to order. And that way we have time to prep some projects and show you what we purchased and what we love and what we want to share, and some projects that we've done, so that you'll have a better idea of what you might like to order whenever you're able to order on May 3rd. So it's an exciting time of year for sure for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators because of the new catalog. Okay, we're going to play with some backgrounds here. Now look what that does when you have a dark background and put it on a light card base. Isn't that pretty to have that dark matte against the light base? I like that. Let's go with that one on that card. And you could pop this up on dimensionals if you want to, but we're trying to make some simple cards today. I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue. Stampin' Up! Has Tombow liquid glue, multi-purpose glue, which is a good one also. Just whatever your favorite liquid glue is. We'll just go ahead and mount that one. Now I should have thought about the ribbon. I'm not sure if we're going to use ribbon on all of them. We may just do ribbon all the way around on that one. Okay, now let's choose which of the papers we want to use for the card base. For this one, we've got the Pear Pizzazz. Let's see, which one do I think I want to use. That one is the Pretty Peacock. You can see that. Or this. That's more of a contrast. Ooh, evidently I didn't cut my paper very well right there. I'm going to have to trim that real quickly. Get that edge cleaned up a little bit. I believe I must have been almost out of a blade when I cut that paper. And this trimmer is awesome. It will get little bitty slivers off. There we go. And this is the Pretty Peacock that I discussed earlier. Love that. Okay, we're not going to glue that. We're going to experiment a little bit with some ribbon on this one. And then we're going to go back and play a little bit more with that other pattern and different ribbons with it also. But I think we'll go ahead and do 2 ribbons like we did on this one, just to show you what that looks like, and then we'll experiment in a little different way. This is the easiest way I have found to add the ribbon to the back, to let it stick to the seal. Is not try to figure out exactly where it's going to be and try to put the stripe of seal this way. I actually put it like this. Get it where you want it on the front, lined up. Hopefully I've got it close enough to the camera y'all can see what I'm doing. Oops, didn't quite get that one long enough. Okay, there we go. Whoops, all tangled up here. Has that ever happened to you? Okay. We're going to do that. And then we'll do the same thing with the other ribbon. Let's move some of this out of the way. Sorry, y'all are having to look at a mess there. I seem to attract messes. I don't think I make them, right? Nobody makes a mess. You just either attract messes or you don't. Tanya is one who does not attract a mess. She is very organized, and all of her stuff just goes back in order. It's like she keeps her little ducks in a row, and I wish I had more of that talent. But I don't. Sadly, I don't. But I have a lot of fun. Okay, we are going to go ahead and mount that. You could use the seal, you can use liquid glue, you can use whatever you're comfortable with. I would just make sure when you are mounting it that you also add some glue to the ribbon. And I think that's why I chose the liquid glue here, is just because that's easier to get that on the ribbon than it is to try to get the seal exactly on that. So we're going to mount this now that we have some ribbon. And it may be just a smidge off, not exactly even all the way around, because we sliced a little bit of that card base off to get it even. So we're going to do that one on there. Now we'll play a little bit with this one. Let's see what background we want on here. What kind of card base. See if we want the olive. See if we want to try a white on this one. Or see if we want to go back to seafoam. Do y'all like the contrast of that? That's the old olive. We could do the pear pizzazz. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Hello. Glad you're joining us. We are just playing to show you kind of how, I think that works better, don't y'all? What do you think? Here's the pear pizzazz background. And here's the old olive background. Somehow I just don't, I don't care for that. Alrighty. Oh good, Tanya, you agree. Okay. Now for this one, it just seems like we're going to try to just do some circles like I did with this card. I'll just do this for positioning. We may want to choose different colors, but I wanted to show you, even if you're just a beginner stamper or you're in a hurry and you want to make a stack of cards and make it really simple, you don't have to have ribbon on every one. You don't have to have die cuts. You don't have to have any of that. I just picked two simple punches, which are actually going to be retiring. The 2-inch and the 2 1/4 inch punch. That's the easiest for a simple beginner to start with there. But I think that will work without either ribbon. But if we want to try to jazz this one up a little bit, just to show you something different, I'll show you a different look. We can try a little bit of the gold that comes in this set. This is from a combo pack that has a woven ribbon. We could actually try that. Do y'all like the natural woven ribbon with this? Anybody have an opinion? Or do you want to just try the gold, the shiny gold? That really dresses it up, doesn't it? I don't see any answers yet, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the gold, I think. We're going to wrap it around. I think I'll do the same. Give it plenty of room here. And I think I want to keep this little tassel that I've got. This ribbon frays, and it is intentional. Tanya wants the woven ribbon. Okay, we can try that. And I'll do gold on another one. But this ribbon does fray as soon as you cut it. So if you like to keep it like a little tassel, you just tie a little knot right above where you want the tassel to stream out, and then you can use it that way. Okay? All right, now Tanya's saying wrap the gold twice. So we're going to see what we can do with that. And I'm going to see if I can start with the tassel, kind of where we're going to maybe put our little greeting over here. Going to play with this a little bit and see. Okay. Well, that's not going to work because I did not. Okay, we're going to tie that. Now I'm going to stick it on here. If you have your silicone mat, the glue won't stick to it. So it gives you a little time to play here. What we're going to do is wrap this around. I'm going to tie this together. And normally you'd want an idea of your layout first, but I think we kind of know, since we're using the little circle punch on these for continuity. In case you wanted to do a whole set of these cards, you could do them in a little gift box that was decorated with the same paper, and it would just be gorgeous. And who would not love to receive that as a gift, to have a set of thank you cards or birthday cards or whatever we decide to put on them as a greeting. Okay, so now we have that tassel. As you can see, you can just kind of really punch it with your finger or thumb a little bit and it will spread out. Okay, so we have the top one with the little tassel, and we're going to assume that we're using the circle punch like we did on the other one. So let's see if we think we need a second. I think we need a straight gold here. We'll just do one gold, no tassel. Just do that right on the line. Since we've got it doubled or tripled up front, up top. Cut that way. See if we like that where it is, and then we're going to go ahead and glue that one. Okay, here we go on the pair of pizzazz, as y'all requested. And then we'll put a little greeting right here. And this one, we'll do the little woven ribbon. And then we'll get a little greeting going and we'll be set. I think this one's going to have to go all the way inside also. We might just do this in between and see what we think. I think if we kind of get that halfway in between there on this side and halfway down on this side, on this portion, maybe we'll move it over to the left just a little bit so we have room to put a little greeting here. Let's move our bow over. There we go. And I believe this ribbon combo pack is staying in. It comes with the woven ribbon and the gold thread all in one pack. That looks pretty good. Good, Tanya. I'm glad you suggested that. Hey, Patty Franklin, did you join us or did Tanya just share with you? Either way, I'm glad to see you. Okay, so there are our 3 card bases. And all we have to do is get after our little greeting. And we're just going to use, you could use all kinds of die cuts. You could use a lot of different things to jazz them up if you wanted to. But these simple cards are really quite striking just because of the designer series paper. Now we could add a little bit if we wanted to jazz that up. You can see what we could do there. You could use, these are some of the die cuts from the Forever Fern. I'll show you this set. This is the stamp set that I used to do some of these dies. And then this is the set of dies. It's called Forever Flourishing dies, but they coordinate. The dies will cut out all of these stamps, shapes that after you stamp them. Plus there are some dies that are not even stamped that are beautiful too. So you could see how you could play with something like that on here. Isn't that pretty? So all kinds of things that you can do with these cards. Let's just go ahead and do a greeting for one of those. That really seems to work well because of the, I think the lesser pattern there in the middle makes that work. Do y'all like multiple layers there, or just the one fern? Or do you like the little bright spot? What do y'all kind of like? Hi Patty, I'm glad you're watching. Okay, next, while y'all are deciding if we need some of those die cut shapes, we may use those on a different card. Okay, we're going to cut some white, Whisper White paper. And of course I had a strip already cut, but I don't see it. So we'll get a full sheet while y'all are deciding about the multiple layers there. You like the single fern, Jennifer? Okay. The bright spot just strayed. Okay. We'll see how. That's a little too busy, I think. Might work on one of these. Anybody else have a vote here before we decide on that one? Let y'all play with that idea. Maybe we can move that up a little. And we'll see how it goes if we want to put a greeting. We may not even want a greeting. That's a little bit much there, I think. Or we can just do just the ribbon. We don't have to have that. So I'm gonna let y'all talk a bit. Talk amongst yourselves. I think that's too much with the gold for sure. Okay, we'll see what we're going to do with that greeting. But what we'll do is take the 2-inch punch, and I'm just going to cut out a few of these circles, punch some circles. Normally you would do that out of your scraps, but I'm just doing it out of a full sheet. I'll probably do a bunch of these cards now that I have several cut. And we'll just do the happy birthday. And I'm going to do one in jade and one in peacock. I think that actually the peacock is going to show up better. So let's do that. I'm going to move these kind of out of the way here. So we have room to move around, maneuver a bit and stamp. Okay. Let's do the happy birthday. Or do y'all feel like this would work as, as a sympathy card? Or do y'all think you want to see this as a birthday card? What do y'all think? Do you think sympathy works for this? Or just stick with birthday or thank you? I'll look in just a sec, Jennifer. Let's get a greeting on there and we'll just see how we want to play with that. And we can You can center this greeting. Let's see if we like the pretty peacock. There's not much of the pretty peacock on there. I'm going to change my mind. We're going to do a different color here. I'll get my little Stampin' Chamois, clean this out. Whoop! Just about lost that. Ran away. Runaway stamp, runaway stamp. Here we go. Let's try the Just Jade and see if that's going to be dark enough. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And then we can do the Jade little matted circle if we want. That would be the 2 1/4 inch size. And you just punch those. Stampin' Up has some great punches. And like I said, these are retiring. So this is especially if you are a new stamper and want to do something simple, this is a great way to do that. That loses our greeting if we do that. We can do we could try a little pear pizzazz. Let's see how we like this. Not the 2 inch punch, but the 2 1/4, which I have lost already. Here we go. Okay, y'all gonna have to watch me here. There's 2 1/4. We'll see how we like that on here with the jade. And we can put some little speckles on here. Could be jade, could be darker, could be lighter. We'll just stamp some of those. Woo, I don't like that same color. Ah, it's a good thing paper has 2 sides, right? So we get to do over. Yay. There we go. Let's just try that again, shall we? Now we'll make the bubbles. Bubbles or speckles or speckles or I don't know what y'all call those. But it really gives a nice little texture without having to use a texture emboss machine or anything like that. We'll go with a little soft seafoam. And I'm going to stamp it on and then just stamp it off so it looks like different colors on there, but it's really not. It's just shades of the same color. Okay, and then I would dimensional this, and that is with our Stampin' Dimensionals. And if you have ever struggled to try to get that first one out of the corner when you're starting a new page, you can just split it in the middle like that. Just kind of open it up. If you haven't tried that, that's kind of a cool little tip and trick till you get them going. Once you have a big slot, it's easy to take care of. There we go. We'll add that, stack that up, and then this could be stacked. I think it needs to be dimensional too. Okay, let's just hold that there, and then we'll go ahead and do the greetings for these two so that we get to complete all 3 cards really quickly. We've got the 2 inch circle punched, and maybe we'll try the darker one on this and see how that works. And This is Tranquil Tide. Actually, this is a retired color that really works well with this suite too. If you still have any Tranquil Tide in your repertoire, that would be a good one to add in to give you a little flavor. We'll go ahead and try the Pretty Peacock and see how we like that with the 2 1/4 inch punch. We may just want to go back with the jade, but I was thinking maybe a little bit darker would be good. Okay, since we've got the happy birthday in that, see how we like that with the peacock back here. A simple one. Then we can add the speckles in. Let's try a little soft sea foam. Or maybe we can go Pear Pizzazz. Let's go Pear Pizzazz on this one. Alrighty. And then we'll just take that off. So you're always stamping one layer. You don't want to go off from one level onto a second level. These punches are well loved, well used. They're starting to get a little worn, so I guess it's just as well that they're retiring, but I will miss them. And I do turn the stamp each time. Turn the bubble stamp so that the directions is kind of coming from a different direction each time. Okay, let's do something like that. I think with the 2 ribbons, we do need to be there. We can, if we want to go ahead and trim off the edge, we could do that and have it instead of just the full circle. And then if y'all want to add a little goodie, we can. We can also jazz that up a little with the gold laser sheets. Stampin' Up! Has some beautiful gold laser, and we may go ahead and add that to the gold, the one that's got the gold ribbon. Whoops, my tape has stuck here. Here we go. That's probably not great on the camera, but it is beautiful. All the little laser specialty paper, laser cuts. All right. We're going to hang this off the edge like Jennifer suggested. We'll just chop that. We've got a little guillotine trimmer that some of you, when you signed up for Stampin' Up, this was one of the promotional items you could get. And I believe it's still available for demonstrators. One more perk, there's a lot of perks to being a demonstrator besides just getting a discount. We have a wonderful, wonderful group who gets along really well, and we enjoy each other's company, and we enjoy sharing our ideas and creativity. So it's wonderful to be part of the Create with Kelley crew, and anybody can be part of the crew. And then I also have a captain's club that are actually my team members, my Stampin' Up! Team members. And I do have several of y'all on the call, so thank you for that. I'm glad you're here and love having you part of my team. If anybody would like to hear a little bit more about Stampin' Up! Or about being a happy shopper, you don't have to do Stampin' Up! As a business. If you join my team, I have a lot of folks who are just happy to get the discount and be on the team just to do some fun things together. Because a lot of what we do as stampers and crafters is just being part of a community. And that is an awesome part of joining the team. So just holler at me if you're interested in hearing more about that. And I want to show you, somebody remind me before we leave that I need to show you, I can show you the front of the new catalog, but that's all I can show you. So that's a simple card, but it's really pretty. So we've got 2 of them just about done. Let's figure out what we're doing here if we're going to use more of the specialty paper. Let's see what we decided here. I think this one's going to be up a little higher. we'll go ahead and put that on with some more dimensionals. I am not shy about using dimensionals. Are y'all? I know a lot of people use a ton of them. Some of them just use a few. Just kind of depends on our personality, and I think it depends on the project, on really whether it's critical that it stays flat or not. I mean, stays raised. If it's going to look bad, if it gets squashed in the mail. You just never know what's going to happen with the Postal Service, do you? Okay. Oops, I was about to put this over there. We've still got to decide that. Okay. Here we go with our happy birthday there. So we've got two different looks. Still a simple card. This would be a little more advanced stamper. If you have the dies, you are going to have to tell me. I know what we need, I bet, is just some Wink of Stella right there on that. And I would just attach this with the glue dot. I would use the Take Your Pick tool. Just use the pointed end of your Take Your Pick tool and stick a little behind that here and there to hold that in place, because all of these don't need to be stuck down, all the leaves. You just really want the main body of it to be stuck, and the rest of it can kind of be free, as long as it's not where it will hang up on the envelope itself. So I would kind of leave some of those hanging. Just let them hang. Let them hang out a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, now we have this one. Let's do punch another. We've got another circle. Let's see what we want on this one. We definitely don't want the gold one to be a sympathy, so I guess we're going to stick with the birthday theme. This one is, the birthday set is out of the Peaceful Moments. That's where this one came from. You could use any set you have with whatever sentiment you have. Just like we discussed, you could use the DSP on anything you want also. Just as long as you always coordinate the designer series paper with the cardstock that you're putting it on and with the inks that you're using. That way you get the whole coordinated look that Stampin' Up! Is famous for. It is just awesome to be part of a company who really appreciates all the little subtleties of how much impact it makes when a card has everything to coordinate. We've got markers, we have blends, we have ink pads, we have cardstock, we have designer series paper. Everything looks awesome together. And that's what one of the things that I fell in love with first with Stampin' Up! Was all the color coordination. And I'm so excited that we'll be getting 3 or 5 new in colors coming up in the new catalog that's coming out. Y'all will be able to order May 3rd. And yes, this stamp set and the dies are carrying over. They will be in the catalog. It's just the designer series paper that will not carry over. And that's because the Pretty Peacock is in there, and that is a retiring in color. Okay, now we're going to go with, let's go with a Pretty Peacock 2 1/4 punch. And I hope I have more of this Pretty Peacock. I hope I haven't waited too late to get any more of it to go with the rest of my designer series paper I still have of this that I love. And I'll show y'all the other, there's a stripe that I absolutely love the best, but it just didn't seem to work as well with these cards. The way I was doing it anyway. It could probably be done. All right, we're gonna attach this. And what I may do is stick a little gold in between these layers. We're just gonna see what we think. And then on the inside of the card, you can just do a plain white card base and stamp any of the ferns. Any of these from here would be beautiful on the inside. And yes, I absolutely agree. The Wink of Stella would be perfect to finish these cards off. Okay, I'm going to look and see if we want to put a little gold underneath here. Let's see what that would be like. We don't want it to be totally too busy. We've already got 3 patterns. We've got this stamped. We're going to move that out of the way. And we'll see what y'all think of this. Really wanted to kind of move that where this definitely would show, the little tassel would show. But that looks kind of funny over there, doesn't it? Let's see, maybe we'll make all of these come up at the top. And then come down with some leaves down and around. You don't have to leave these exactly like they come. It can be, you can alter them like this. We may have just wasted those tassels. I don't think they're going to work with the gold like this. I think we can kind of bend that around that way. If we can make the tassels stick right here, we're just going to put a little bit of seal right there. See if I can get these ornery little tassels to stick up here where we want them. Then we'll add some seal to the back of this. Move this punch out of the way. See if I can find my silicone mat again. Got a lot going on this little desk over here. Yes, Tanya, a glue dot would have worked too. We're just going to kind of go around the edge of this with the seal and see where all we need to stick those leaves to kind of make this wrap around. What do y'all think of that? Think that's kind of fun? This would be pretty with those embossed too, but that's an extra step. I'm trying to do some fairly simple cards. Show you how we can make 3 in a short amount of time. Okay. Alrighty. If y'all like that, we're gonna go with that. Let's stick that on. But y'all can see how much potential there is with this little design, using any designer series paper you have that you like that coordinates together, and just cut all 3 sheets at the same time, and then you can use whatever coordinating mats and cardstock, card bases to go with them. Didn't quite get it exactly right, but there we go. That gives y'all an idea. Whoops, I didn't get it straight still, did I? We will see if we can work on that a little bit. I think we'll cut this tassel just a tad. It's hanging off the top. Now we still have the effect and the leaves around, and it still kind of flows around that circular pattern. You can be daring and put a little Wink of Stella on your happy birthday. You could put it around the edge of this to give that a little sparkle to make it match the gold. See how the little brush just really is easy to manipulate. Just goes right around and gives that some pizzazz, don't you think? Hopefully y'all can see that. I'm going to try to get it a little closer for you so you can see the shine and shimmer of that laser cut designer paper. It is just beautiful. So there's one of our cards. And then I think this one definitely has to have some jazzy Wink of Stella on the leaves. And you don't have to cover them solid. You don't have to cover all of them. Just do some little highlights in there. And it really makes a huge difference in your card. Now that makes me want to go around this circle too. Like we did this one. We got a messy tassel mess here, don't we? Sorry. I'm just a messy gal. We have mess all the way around the table. There we go. Okie dokie. And this one, just a simple addition of ribbon. This one has a die and a different ribbon. A little bit of ribbon here and a little bit of jazzed up. But you can see how simple it is. You could make a stack of these cards fairly quickly. Let's at least put a little bit of pizzazz here with the Wink of Stella around the circle. I really like that. A very, very simple way to give it a little bit more of an elegant touch. You could even touch a few of these leaves in here on the pattern. And it totally, again, it just depends on how the patterns land. You're going to have one in the middle, one at the top, and one at the bottom when you cut all three of these sheets at the same time. So you can see how simple that card layout is. We're going to hold this up, get you a little close-up. Here's a close-up of both of those. And then this one. So I think it's already 8:15, so it's been an hour. I try to keep them around an hour. And I've already told you kind of how I would jazz up the inside. Just a little plain white piece, stamp a little fern, and leave room for your greeting, and you'll be set. But all these products are in the Forever Greenery set, except for the Happy Birthday, which came from the Peaceful Moments set. That is another one that is carrying over. I'm glad you like it, Tanya, and glad that's a favorite thing for you. Okay, if y'all bear with me while I flip the camera around again, we will say a quick goodbye, and I will see y'all next week. I'm glad you tuned in. Just a second, and I'll turn the camera. Okay, I'm excited that we have done 3 cards already in an hour, so y'all can see how simple that was to do. And this is all using the same pattern, Designer Series paper, Forever Greenery Sweet. It's hard to kind of peek through from all these cards. Let's see what you think. Which one's your favorite? Do y'all like the one with the gold leaf? Do you like the one with the woven bow? Or do you like the one with the just jade ribbon where you've got jade on both sides? Which one do you like the best? The double ribbon, the woven ribbon, or the gold? What do you think? I'd like to get your opinion. I hope y'all have learned something tonight. I hope y'all will try this. And thanks again to Mary Knabe, who I saw her video just this morning on how to cut these cards and thought it was a lot of fun. She used the Flowers for Every Season set, so they look totally different with all the bright colors. But that just proves how easy it is to change up your Designer Series paper and make something fun and get 3 different designs in one quick time period. So thanks again for tuning in. Again, I'm Kelley Pitts, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas. And I have some classes coming up. If y'all will subscribe to my blog at createwithkelley.com, I'd love to have you do that, and you'll know all of the classes I have coming up. I do some for beginners, some for intermediate, and we have a techniques class also. So I would love to have you tune in. I also do some paper pumpkin alternatives. That's probably what I'll do next week. We'll see how that all turns out. I do have a paper pumpkin class on Sunday, I believe. So any of you who subscribe to that or have questions or want to know more about that subscription kit, let me know. I'm so glad you tuned in, and please share. You can share the replay. If you've missed part of it, you can go back and watch. Thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Facebook Live, and hopefully you can come to some of my online classes or in-person classes very soon. I look forward to seeing you then. Fun times ahead. Thanks. Bye-bye.